An MPV is meant to move people in comfort, and now more and more families want to do that while going electric. And that is where the Clavis EV steps in. Now, Kia claims that this new Carens Clavis EV is India's first 3-row electric MPV. However, although a bit more expensive, the BYD eMax 7 did come in first. What the Clavis brings to the table though is sub 20 lakh rupees price tag and proper usable 3 rows for a proper Indian family. The big question though is whether it has the range to actually do those family trips. Now, Kia claims that irrespective of the battery you pick, the Clavis EV can offer you 400 plus kilometers. And in this video, I'm going to put that claim to a real world test. But before I get into that day-long ordeal, if you are new to the channel, do subscribe to Carandbike. And while you're at it, hit that bell notification as well so you'll never miss an update from us. And while you are doing that, let me just quickly top up this EV to 100% and get going. Now, the Carens Clavis EV comes with 2 battery pack options. One of them is a 42 kilowatt hour unit, whereas the bigger one is a 51.4 kilowatt hour battery pack. Now, Kia claims that the smaller unit can offer you a range of 404 kilometers, whereas the bigger extended range battery can offer you 490 kilometers on a single charge. This is the same setup that we have already seen in the Hyundai Creta Electric. Now, when we tested the Creta Electric, it gave us a range of 390 kilometers in real world condition. And that is the benchmark I have set for the Clavis EV in this video. Now, as with every range test we do, there are certain criteria that we follow. The car is always driven in the standard or default setting, which means drive mode is set to normal, AC temperature is set to 23 degrees Celsius, and fan speed is set at auto, fluctuating between 2 or 3. The speeds were kept under 60 km per hour in the city and between 90 and 100 km per hour on the highway. With ICE cars, you get better fuel efficiency on the highway. EVs flip that. Brake regeneration keeps putting small bits of energy back into the battery, and over a full drive, it adds up. So in city traffic with constant stop and go, you'll usually pull more range from the Clavis EV than you will on the highway. In the city, the Clavis EV is easy to handle. The ride is comfortable, it smooths out rough road with great ease, and the light steering helps you move around this 4.5 meter MPV with quite a bit of ease. Yes, you do feel the length of the MPV when you drive it for the first time, but you get used to it after a few kilometers. It is only when you're taking a corner a bit too aggressively that the body roll reminds you that it is still a big MPV. Yes, because there is less braking involved on the highway, you do not get that trickle charge from regen. However, that doesn't mean that the energy consumption shoots up massively. In fact, here the system gives you the average energy consumption data, and as per this, the Clavis EV consumes about 7.6 to 8 kilometers per kilowatt hour in city conditions, whereas on the highway, this just drops down to about 7.4 to 7.6 kilometers per kilowatt hour. Multiply those numbers with the battery capacity and you will have a good estimate of its real world range. Now, even if there is a bit of drop in range, the performance surely makes up for it. Here in this Clavis EV, it makes 169 brake horsepower and 255 Newton meters of peak torque. In fact, it accelerates from 0 to 100 in 8.2 seconds. In fact, what that means is on the highway, overtaking those big trucks or slow moving traffic is quick, smooth and effortless. Now let's talk some numbers. When I started this test with a 100% battery, the infotainment system gave me an estimated range of 421 kilometers. While the trip was set to 0, throughout the testing I monitored this along with the average energy consumption for every 5 and 10% drop in charge levels. For instance, at 90% battery, the distance to empty dropped to 372 kilometers. At 80%, it came down to 318, and at 70%, it was 260 kilometers. So on and so forth. and the average energy consumption was around 7.5 kilometers per kilowatt hour. Now, before I reveal the actual real-world range of the Clavis EV, let me remind you that the 390 kilometer range of the Hyundai Creta Electric was the benchmark for this video. And the question is, has this Kia managed to hit that target? Well, the real-world range of the Carens Clavis EV that we managed to achieve was a little over 380 kilometers. Now, yes, it is slightly less than what the Creta Electric offered, but you also have to consider the fact that this is a few hundred kgs heavier, and because of its MPV body style, it is not as aerodynamic as the Creta Electric. But if you are a bit more economical with your settings and driving, then you will be able to hit that target, even surpass it. And to answer the question that I asked at the start of this video, whether this MPV can be that electric vehicle which can take your family and go the distance, well, with some smart planning, it most definitely can. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up, and if you have any more questions about it, you can put them down in the comment box below and we will try to answer them. And for more such videos, keep following Car and Bike.